shine on happy camper life. We're loving, living, and learning online on happy camper life.
Hey guys, welcome to My Camp. I'm Courtney, the host of this My Camp podcast, where we just get together here live in the HC and we just talk about camp. So, I'm heading into my 5th summer working at my camp. And when I first knew that I was going to camp, which was probably like this time back in 2018, I was desperate and like hungry for really good camp content online, right? Because I wasn't just sending my 3 kids to camp, I was going too, because I was being brought on as the camp photographer. So like I said, I was thirsty for any kind of camp content, like videos, what to expect, what to pack, bunk life, like all of it. And I don't know if you've ever Googled sleepaway camp on Googled sleepaway camp, you'll quickly realize that it's not just camp, but it is a cult classic slasher film franchise with 4 parts. But once you can kind of dig past all of that, I came across these incredible videos from Camp Ton-A-Wandah in Hendersonville, North Carolina. So we're talking about these videos were probably like 5 or 6 years old at the time, and they were the cutest camper made in the bunks, like my favorite being one called Glamping 101, but it fulfilled those need, like the need that I was looking for with like what camp was like and what to expect and what the girls were like, and it just really filled my bucket. So I'm so excited today to introduce the associate director of Camp Ton-A-Wandah, Juliet, who because of some issues with the camp song, which is very serious, she has to be called Jules. So we have to be very flexible when it comes to camp. So thank you so much for being here today, Jules. I really appreciate your time. And you have a really great story too, like your camper story. And I love camper origin stories. So tell me how deep down camp is in your soul, because I know it's down there deep.
Yeah, of course, I'm really excited to be here today, Courtney. I'm really excited about this video and the podcast. So my story with Ton-A-Wandah is actually my parents want a discount to send me here at an auction.
Yay!
So you never know when camp's gonna pop up. So my first summer, I was 7 and I came for, at that point in time, was the shortest amount of time that you could come to camp, which was 2 weeks. So started off as what we call a cedar baby. They're the youngest of the youngest, which is a lot of fun. When I was a camper as a cedar baby, we used to have Miss Judy time, which was an hour a day with our camp owner, and she used to take us to her personal house and bake cookies, and we went to the Carver house and met the goats. So that's a very fond memory of mine. The playground outside of Cedar Cabin does look a little different. But from there, I went up through our 3 areas, which are Hillside, Lakeside, and then Hilltop, which kind of goes in order of ages. Then I was also able to get into what we call our CIT program, so Counselor and Training Program. After that, I was a CA here at Ton-A-Wandah, which is a counselor assistant. It's a different job scope now from when I was a counselor assistant, but from then on I went to be a counselor, and then even after that I tried to squeeze in camp, and I came up as barn staff on weekends for 2 years.
Oh, they make you, when you only come for the weekends, they make you do the dirty work, huh? Like, oh, we're gonna give you the job nobody wants. So how many years were you there? Like, what was that first chunk of time? Like, how many years were you there? You said you got started when you were 7. So then you were there for...
I was here until I was, I want to say 18.
Okay, that's a long time.
Yeah, so if I could do math,
I know.
11 or 12 years. plus and minus, weekends. I don't know if we really count that.
Right.
But from there, I did take a little hiatus, I like to say, from camp. It wasn't my goal to do that, but I had an opportunity once I graduated from university that kind of just fell into my lap. And it was one of those job experiences that I was like, you know what, I just need to do this. So that was a human resources role at a manufacturing company. So definitely a big change from camp.
Right.
Wearing steel-toed boots just to get to your office, which was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Experience. Yeah. And then from there, I was an outreach specialist for an infectious disease clinic. So I kind of jumped all over. And then I was a 5th grade teacher for a year. There was a private school that was desperate for teachers. And I thought, you know what, I worked at summer camp. Let's give it a go. And now I'm back at Ton-A-Wandah.
See, so you can, as an adult, work at a camp full time. It's so crazy full circle. And this will be, like I think you said this will be your second year back at camp, but your first year in this position as associate director. Well, like all of those job experiences, being HR at a factory and teaching 5th grade, those are all amazing skill sets that really play into working at a camp or any kind of job that like manages kids. So that's really exciting. You'll be back this summer as associate director. So what is the thing that you're most excited about this summer coming in? What are you excited to see in the girls?
Oh, I love so many aspects of camp. I guess it kind of speaks for itself, coming back so many years. But with the experience that I have and being in the role that I'm in, I'm so excited to not only watch our counselors grow and develop new skills that, you learn at camp, but you can take into a professional world. But then to watch them build those relationships. 2 of my best friends, one was my co-counselor. We're co's together. We have a lot of co stories. And then another one of my best friends, we worked at the barn together here at Ton-A-Wandah, and one's in England and one's in France.
Oh, darn, really terrible places to have to go visit,
really
right?
Oh. I have not been to visit them several times.
Okay.
But, having those relationships, I cherish my relationships with them. I can pick up the phone almost any time, with time differences, of course, and call them and talk to them just like I had seen them yesterday. And I'm so excited for our counselors to experience that because I get so giddy when I think about them. It's just like this magical feeling that I get, my little fingers tingle because I think about how wonderful that those relationships were when I was a counselor. So to see others really build on those and be able to create the same as I once had is just wonderful. So that's what I'm really hopeful for.
Because it's as much as it's an amazing experience for campers going to camp and having that summer experience, but the experience almost for the counselors. I mean, it's like life changing. I almost say it's like an outward bound program. We'll provide you food and shelter and clothing. And if you make it through this, you will be a different person from the inside and out, because I totally can relate, because I was in a different position this past year where I was with counselors, and you could see it, and it was really, really incredible. What would you say the percentage of your counselors were past campers?
Honestly, it really depends. We have built and did an overhaul of our counselor and training program. And we really implemented that this last year, a little bit the year before. It takes a while to kind of make those changes. And, we don't want to drastically change something. And I'm really, really excited. And we're really, really hoping that this new change will really set our campers up for success in the transition from camper to counselor, because it is a different relationship that you have. You know, as a camper, you sign up to come to camp. It's very exciting, of course. As a counselor, you know, you fill out an application and you know, you almost have to be chosen. You have to be accepted to be a counselor. Still as exciting, but a little nerve-wracking. And then you're in charge, you know, like you're in charge of the 10 campers that are in your cabin. And so we're hoping with this new transition, we're really diving into those hard skills, soft skills, you know, what does life look like? So we're hoping this new transition will really help keep those campers coming back as counselors.
Because what better staff than somebody that like knows camp and understands camp? Like here you are as associate director, nobody will understand and feel it, even hearing you talk about a counselor, than someone who not only was a counselor, but you were a camper starting at age 7. So that's really, I mean, that's a lot to be said. So yes, you're going to have an amazing summer in there. I feel like Camp Ton-A-Wandah is very, very, very lucky. So take me through, Jules. What would a typical day be like at Camp Ton-A-Wandah? What time does the reveille? How does that make me feel it?
Yeah. So, pending COVID protocols, a typical day, if we just kind of throw that to the side, a typical day is our reveille is going to go off, or our bugle actually will go off over the loudspeaker at 7:45. I think is the perfect time to wake up. Honestly, that's what time I wake up now anyways, without the bugle. But then our girls have breakfast at about 8:15. There's 3 bells that ring. So the first one's like, hey, you know, breakfast is being set. The second's like, all right, like, let's get to the dining hall. And the third is for them to enter into the dining hall.
Now.
Yeah, like,
now.
All right, let's go. Like, put the hand sanitizer on and get inside. So after that, we do breakfast. We do announcements after just about every meal, just reminders for the girls, you know, drink water. Hey, you know, photography class is going to meet at the chapel, not program office today. After that, our girls do what we call cabin cleanup. It's 45 minutes. It's, as you know, cabin cleanup, but actually really exciting because the cleanest cabin for our 3 areas each week win a prize. And then the overall cabin gets a Sunday ice cream party at the end of the session. So it's like, it is the end all be all to win. And you get a sign that says honor cabin for the week. So that's super exciting. After that, our girls go to 3 activities. They're about 45 minutes each. And typical summer, girls do get to pick what activities they go to pending, you know, any age requirements. After that, we have what we call our general swim. So this time girls can pick, you know, 1 buddy, 2 buddies, and they can go swim out on our lake and do free swim, you know, jump off the blob, get on the trampoline.
First of all, I want to get on the kayak slide. Okay. That kayak slide. So owners of my camp, kayak slide for this summer. Kayak slide. Okay, good. And I digress. Go ahead. It looked very fun.
No, you're fine. Yes, the 3 slides. There's a secret to going faster down the slide, but you have to come to camp to find out.
Oh,
okay. And the girls get to hang around camp. They get to go to our camper store, which is called Camper Cargo. This little jacket I have on today, I don't know if you can see, but it is from Camper Cargo. Shout out to Camper Cargo. After that, they have lunch and then Happy Nappy, which is an hour. We really feel like this is a necessary time for girls to just take a minute, have quiet, have calm. If it's hot, we encourage our counselors to take their girls outside, go hang out in the shade, take your emus out and hang them up, you know, read a book. This is also the time that our campers get their mail because we're a technology free site and camp, which is awesome. So all those letters come in at that time, and that's the perfect time for girls to write, you know, parents, grandparents, guardians, anything of the sort. After that, they have 3 more activities. So we squeeze in 6 for the whole day. And then they do shower time. So we have shower houses that the girls go to. And then after that, let's see, showers.
So no shower in the bunk. So no shower in the bunk.
No shower in our cabins, but 2 toilets and 2 sinks in every cabin, so you don't have to leave your cabin to go to the bathroom. And that's like a end all be all for me. Like, I'm like, I don't want to walk in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and run into who knows what kind of wildlife, deer. Yeah, I'm like, no, thank you. Yeah. So sometimes shower time can be after EP. And what I mean by that is it goes shower time, dinner, and then we announce our EP, which is our evening program. We do have some crazy evening programs, which are a lot of fun. One being our crazy color and waterworks. So we have a huge blow up slip and slide, so they'll get bubbly, and then we have the powder color that they throw at each other, and then they might have whipped cream on their head and they have to throw Cheetos into it, see how many stick. So if it's an EP like that, you know, we will swap the shower time, so of course they can shower afterwards. After some EPs, they might get to jump into the lake and maybe get some of that extra stuff off before we hit the showers. But that is a typical day. And then at night, we have call to cabins. We always sing taps at the end of the night, usually in a circle. I know what you're thinking. No, I will not sing taps for you right now.
Oh, come on, Jules. Jules, that's not very campy of you. Teach me. I'll hold your hands. Let's do it. Circle.
Yes, you crossover. Yes.
Right
over left.
Right.
But call to cabins, and then a melody of taps plays, and then our Lord's Prayer plays around 9:30. And then if the girls are extra special for the day, you know, they might get flashlight time. But most of the time it's lights out, you know, 9:45, 10.
Right. That's great. You know, some of my my most memorable times at camp are when they play that taps, or then at my camp they play another one called Tattoo. And sometimes I'll just stand outside and kind of take it all in the quiet, and you know, just kind of feeling gratitude of that I'm there versus like, you know, being home in South Florida, and you know, it's just
right.
It's just that moment of gratitude. So those tattoo and taps are definitely near and dear to my heart too. So since you have such a long history at Ton-A-Wandah, what would be your favorite camp tradition?
Oh, that is a good one. We do something at the end of each session, and we call it our Candlelight. And it's not a church service, but it's set up in the same aspect as you're quiet, you're listening. We light candles, one's in honor of our founder, Donnie Haynes, who started camp. We light another one that's for all the Ton-A-Wandah women that, you know, are not with us anymore. And there's a couple poems we read about those. But at the very end, our counselors take the words TAW, and they talk about thoughts, actions, and words. And it is one of my favorite nights. It usually brings tears to my eyes. Some of our counselors will even put in their best friends' names into these. We have started to collect them, especially this year, all the counselors that wrote and spoke. We wanted to keep those as a keepsake. I think it's wonderful. And then after that, each girl gets a candle on a plate, and we light them and place those into the water. And I hate for camp to end at the end of each session, but it is a wonderful way for the girls to reflect on their time, say goodbye to maybe those that aren't in their cabin, and then, you know, just enjoy that last night.
And you mentioned like Ton-A-Wandah, thoughts, actions, and words. Was that what was originally the motivation behind naming it Ton-A-Wandah? Is that part of like the original? Because I find that just to be like, my jaw dropped when you said thoughts, actions, and words, and I was like, how much more perfect can you get that to match up? And it's so right. I mean, your whole camp can be built on the values that are placed in your thoughts, actions, and words. So, you know, just we talking about like, I want to just rewind a little bit and have you share the history of your camp, because, you know, your camp has been around for a really long time, and it's still owned by the same family. And I think, you know, you don't see a lot of that in these days. So tell me give me some history. We're going to put you on the spot. How well have you been studying? Let's hear it.
Worries at all. So the thoughts, actions, and words. I don't know the backstory of that. I don't believe that was part of why Ton-A-Wandah was named Ton-A-Wandah. But it started with Donnie Haynes, who bought it in 1933. Which is an interesting time period to fork out the money to buy a camp. But it was actually a hunting lodge. So that's how it started, and that's why our dining hall sits on the water. Well, it looks like it sits on the water. The water actually flows underneath it, but it is level. So when you are standing in the dining hall, you are actually lower than the water level, because the water level comes up to about your waist.
Wow.
So it's just a wonderful view. But that is why we light one of our candles at Candlelight, is in honor of her. But it is still in the Haynes family. So right now it's owned by who we call Captain Billy and Miss Judy. So that is actually, Captain Billy is Donnie Haynes' grandson. So they are still our current owners, but our directors are Kim Haynes and Ben Haynes. And Ben would be Captain Billy's son. So it's still in the family, which is wonderful. Kim and Ben do have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. And Ellie does join us at camp quite frequently. She has Angelman's disease, so she's not a camper with us, but she loves to jump in the lake, and she's a lot of fun. Right. And then Kim's eldest son, John Carswell, he usually helps us out in the kitchen, which is fun. And then her youngest son, Braden, you can always find him around camp somewhere. He's definitely outdoorsy, fishing, wanting to go do archery. But halfway through the summer, she actually sends him to another summer camp that's all boys. So we miss him for about 3 weeks, and then he comes back. So it's definitely a family here at Ton-A-Wandah.
I just love it. So when, so tell me just a little bit more. Well, actually, I lost my train of thought. So, you said it happened in 1933, and you said what an interesting time to open a camp, but also what an interesting time to open a girls' camp. Like, this is a camp that's just for girls. And I don't know if you've really said that or not. So in 1933, Donnie saw that there was a need for programming for girls, like in the mountains of North Carolina. I mean, even it was just such a different world. And I'm a little familiar. I have family. My grandmother lived in Hendersonville too. So I can appreciate the beauty of the mountains of North Carolina. I mean, there's really nothing like it. It's so idyllic. And gorgeous. So when you're there for those, how many kids, girls do you have at camp at a time?
Per session, we average about maybe 200, again, in a non-COVID year. Right,
of course.
We typically can put 12 girls in a cabin. That's definitely full capacity. Right now we try to stay around 10, because it's just a great number to have, 8, 9, 10. It's just wonderful to have the cabins.
Amazing. So, again, I lost my train of thought a little bit, but, I remember. So you have 200 at a time, but you have multiple sessions, right? So you're doing multiple 2 weeks and 3 weeks. So how many campers do you have like circulating for like one summer?
Honestly, I'd have to do the math. Because
that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of activity, a lot of movement. So you're really able to provide this program to so many girls, which is right. And I know, can you share with me a little bit about the program? I know you were really wanting to share about like the morals and the values, and there's a 3C program that I'd love to hear more about too.
Yeah, so our mission is to create women of substance, and I think that goes for myself working here in the office full time, to our part-time staff, to our counselors, to our campers, to maybe even day staff. We can all grow, and we're always learning, and I think that's wonderful. Our core values though are community, curiosity, and creativity. And I know everyone has their core values. Courtney's, but I just don't think that you could get any better than ours. You know, community, you know, you're at camp, we are going to have a community for you. Kim does all of our camper placements into cabins, and she really analyzes, you know, did this camper get along with her cabin last year? You know, did she, maybe there was some drama between she and another camper. You know, she looks at that, we look at that, you know, was this camper able to progress, you know, building that community, curiosity. I mean, what better way to find out new things than at camp? You know, you're outside, you know, you're in the lake, you're on the water, you know, you're climbing our rock wall. You know, we have a waterfall that's actually on site that our girls can walk down to. You know, you can try all these new activities. You know I went here to camp, but never out of camp would I've ever shot a bow and arrow. You know what I mean? Or, you know, gone canoeing. You just don't have those opportunities. And then creativity. I mean, we have a large arts and crafts program, but even besides then, you know, the girls make up their own games that they get to play, and they just, you know, they get to be themselves. They don't have those outside social medias, you know, infringing on what they need to think, what they feel like they need to wear, you know, like, does my hair look good? You just throw it out the window.
I know. In one of the videos on your camp I was watching, it's like these girls, I love what she said, the girls prepare all summer to be able to really be who they are at camp. Like they can just be who they are. And even the same way for me, you know, as an adult, being able to like just be the camp lady that I want to be all year round, be able to do that at camp and it be completely cool. So I definitely, so what's one of your favorite, what is a meal that like everybody looks forward to at camp at Ton-A-Wandah? They're like churros, woohoo, churros. Like,
well, I will say, I'm actually gluten-free, so I don't get to partake in all of the meal, but let me tell you what, it smells really good. So every Sunday for lunch, we have what we call Captain Billy's fried chicken. So he comes into the kitchen, and you know, this is the owner of our camp. He comes into our kitchen and makes his fried chicken every Sunday. It's wonderful. You know, the campers love it. It smells amazing. Like I said, I'm gluten-free, so I can't eat breading, but he 100% makes me grilled chicken with some other spices, and it is on par.
Excellent.
Right. So we're definitely able to accommodate to, you know, any food, you know, anything that you can eat. But what comes with that meal is the mashed potatoes. And I am a sucker for some buttery mashed potatoes with a little bit of salt. Not healthy, but it's only on Sundays.
You can eat extra because you can't have the fried chicken, so you can double up on the mashed potatoes, right? Like that's just how it works.
Yeah.
Great.
And
so
then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, okay. So along with that meal, there's rolls that they, you know, toast in the oven, and then green beans. And it's, you know, it's just a tradition almost. My other favorite meal is we do what we call like a fire games day. So we have, you know, 3 groups of girls that are kind of initiated into this group, and then they compete against each other. And it's not the entirety of camp. So if you're not huge, like I'm not a huge competitor, but I did love competing in some things. Right. But on that morning, we do waffles with ice cream and blueberry syrup. And I don't think there's a better breakfast that you can have on one of your last mornings of camp.
I think you are making Miss Donnie Haynes very proud in these delicious Southern North Carolina meals. So Jules, I asked you to do some homework, and I asked you to bring something from Camp Ton-A-Wandah and kind of a 20 questions, which I actually tend to be very terrible at. I just want to like tell you right now, but I am going to make a series of guesses and try to guess what it is. Are you ready? Do you have it?
I'm ready.
Okay.
It's right here.
Okay, I'm going to, can you wear it?
No.
Does it make noise?
Sometimes.
So it's not an instrument.
No, it is not.
Okay. Is it something you can display?
You could potentially,
Can you kick it?
if you want to, but it might be kind of weird if you did.
Okay. So is it a piece of sporting equipment?
Nope.
No. Okay. Is it something you clean with?
No.
All right, I give up. What is it? Tell me, what is this
Oh!
amazing Ton-A-Wandah? I know, I'm so bad. I want to hear about
It is
it.
a Hershey bar.
Can you eat it? I gotta add that. I gotta have my list of it. Can you
Yeah,
eat it?
so
And what?
it noise, and you could pick it. Let me tell you why I brought this Hershey bar though. And this is actually a giant Hershey bar. But we do what we call a Hershey Bar Game at breakfast every morning except for Sunday. And let me tell you what, it is besides cabin cleanup and being on our cabin, it is like the end all be all to be the Hershey Bar queen for the day. So what happens is myself, head staff, program staff, will stand up at the front and all the campers stand up. Everyone, counselors, anybody. I might have won a Hershey bar last year. But anyways, we ask random questions. Do you have closed-toed shoes on? Are you wearing a toe ring? Is there a hair tie in your hair? And the last camper, so if you have closed-toed shoes on, you remain standing.
Right.
And the last camper standing, they have the choice. So they could have, one Hershey bar or what's in my mind, 2 Hershey bars. My other associate director, she gave away, I think like 16 Hershey bars to a girl. And it's the camper's choice and everyone's yelling, take the chocolate or the mind is great. And I know we all love chocolate, but you never know what you're going to get with the mind. It could be polar plunge, jump into the lake at breakfast, which is a great one. But then it could be, paddle boarding with me, or it could be a photography photo shoot with your cabin. So,
that sounds fun too.
You just never know what you're going to get. But we do that every morning, again, except for Sunday. So, there's lots of chances to win. I will say, when I was a camper, I won on my birthday one year. I'm pretty sure I cried because it is just like you are the Hershey Bar queen for the day.
Oh my gosh. So really quick, do you do anything special for birthdays? Since you mentioned birthdays, how do you celebrate birthdays at camp?
Yeah, so birthdays go a couple different ways. Our kitchen will make the camper or counselor, whoever it is, a birthday cake, which is a lot of fun. And all of camp sings happy birthday to them. If your parents are feeling, or your parental units, guardians, what have you, if they're feeling extra special, they can actually purchase a couple add-ons to that through our camper cargo. So, if your mom's feeling like you were extra great that year and did well in school, you could have a pizza party with your cabin and you get to do it in one of our camp buildings, which looks out on the lake, which is a lot of fun. They can purchase an ice cream party, but you always get cake from the kitchen, and that cake is homemade cake. And they lay on that icing, and I don't know if you're a cake person, Courtney, but I'm all about the icing.
All of it, cake, icing, it's got to be the perfect combo. 100%.
Mm-hmm. So it 100%.
Is 100%.
They stand up and we count up to however old they are, which I think is a lot of fun. So they get to stop, once they hit a certain their birthday age. So I think that's wonderful.
Amazing. All right. So as we love to play games at camp, I'm going to play with you one of my favorite camp games. Are you ready? All right. My favorite game is called the 7-second challenge. So Jules, I'm going to give you a number of challenges and 7 seconds to complete them. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. First one, name as many dog breeds as you can.
German Shepherd, Norwegian Elkhound, Siberian Husky, Chihuahua, Pit Bull Terrier, Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh, good job. And very interesting dog breeds of dogs. And like, you can really learn a lot about someone by the their first response to dog breeds. So very good. All right, next one. You have 7 seconds to create a new word and define it. Go.
Clanooking. And you stomp around and jump in all the puddles.
Okay, I love that. But what was the word again? Because I mean, we might need to add this to our dictionary.
Clanooking.
Clanooking. Oh, we're gonna go clanooking, guys. It just rained. It's so much fun. Get your boots on. I love it. I love it. All right, and the last one. I will give you 7 seconds to recite the Ton-A-Wandah pledge. Go.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm blank.
Just kidding. That was mean. That was mean. That was mean. I was on, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she can recite the pledge.
I was like,
that was not nice.
Pledge right now.
No. All right. So, you know, I know, since go back to the breeds of dogs, you guys have a camp dog. Like, can we please have an introduction to your camp dog?
So actually the dog breeds that I named are the ones that make up my dog.
Okay.
I left out German Shepherd, but we actually have 5 consistent dogs that are on site. And
5
then
camp dogs.
3 more that kind of trickle in and out. Personally, I just have the one, and he is he's sleeping on my feet. Howie. So this is, let me pick him up. This is Howie.
Howie. Oh.
Yeah. So this is Howie. And he's just a big snuggle bug. He loves to go in the cabin with campers. We did temperature checks last year every morning. So every morning he and I went into our designated cabins, and we woke everybody up.
Yeah. Oh, what an amazing, like, what a great dog. I am very excited because we're supposed to have we are going to have a camp dog at my camp this summer. So I'm super psyched because when I'm at camp, I kind of imagine, oh, my dog would be with me. My dog would be the best camp dog. So what great. And especially for the campers too, because I'm sure the camp dog, if you're feeling a little homesick, he can, he makes people feel good. So which is what happens when you go to Camp Ton-A-Wandah. It makes you feel good. It is not just a place, it is a place in your heart, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. So Jules, thank you so much for joining me in the HC today. The HC is what we call like our head counselor's cabin. What do you call it at camp? Do you have a place where, like an HC, what would you call it?
It'd probably be our program office or the lodge.
Oh, being at the lodge. All right. So I'll come join you at the lodge, and you've joined me in the HC. So thank you so much for joining me today. Guys, our listeners, our viewers, if you want to hear more about camp and talk about my camp, you can check us out on YouTube, as well as any place where you listen to podcasts. So please join us next time back here at the HC, and we'll talk about my camp. I'll save a s'more for you. Awesome. Bye.
Take a moment to shine.